What's up, everybody? Welcome to some Mimeoplasm action, everyone's favorite 1960s horror monster. We're going to play first. Let's get the Thraximundar. Alright, we got some graveyard on graveyard. I will take that. And as far as our opening hand goes, yeah, Bizarre Baghdad, well, yeah, we'll go and keep. We got Sensei's Top. Yeah, we'll keep on this one. Let's get our command zone all set up, and then I'll cover what we got going on as far as commanders go in just a second. While our opponent's waiting to mulligan, we are playing Mimeoplasm, so as he enters the battlefield, you may exile 2 creature cards from graveyards, which includes our opponent's graveyard and our graveyard. Mimeoplasm will enter the battlefield as a copy of one of those cards, and then he's going to get an additional +1 counters on it equal to the other card's power. We're playing against Thraximundar. Haste, whenever it attacks, defending player sacrifices a creature. Then whenever a player sacrifices a creature, you may put a +1 counter on Thrax. Okay, let's go ahead and go. Let's get down the forest. I think, yeah, let's get down to the forest. Let's get down Sensei's Top, and then we'll go ahead and pass the turn. But yeah, when I think of Mimeoplasm, he just looks so much like some 1960s horror, like the whole townspeople is running away from this big monster that's invade. Oh, Nile Spellbomb, nasty. Hedron Crab, yes, Mr. Krabby Patties himself. Let's go ahead and we can get down the harbor, right? Because we control forest. So let's go ahead and get the harbor down. Let's get down Hedron Crab. And then we start making land drops for the turn. Hopefully our opponent will crack that Nile Spellbomb pretty quick, and then we can kind of get our own little graveyard up and running. But with Hedron Crab out there, we can start chunking them in there. And then, at the end of our turn, we'll go and fire this Sensei's Top off to see what we've got rocking on the top of our library. Rise of the Dark Realms, Personal Tutor, Brainstorm. Alright, so let's go. Rise of the Dark Realms. If we go Personal Tutor, we're going to be able to shake our library up a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go Brainstorm and then Personal Tutor. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's make the land drop for the turn. Let's go Watery Grave. Not going to pay 2. We're going to send 3 over our way. Okay, we get some Swamp Cycling activated. Alright, so we got 3 coming over to us. We're going to mill 3 on ourselves. And then, let's see, Fauna Shaman. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's fire this Personal Tutor off. Because I may end up just... You can play around a Nile Spellbomb, but I think what I want to go for... Let's see. Sometimes you can kind of force the issue with the Nile Spellbomb. But if our opponent's going to be milling a bunch of stuff, I may end up going for a Living Death. I think I like that. Yeah, with the Baron Moor, we have second black source. Yeah, let's grab a Living Death. Okay, that way it kind of keeps us open as far as what we want to go for. And we can get down the Baron Moor next turn, and then we kind of, once we get that in our hand, and then we can just start making our land drops with Hedron Crab and start milling out our opponent and start milling us out. Yeah, so basically when you're playing a graveyard deck and your opponent has some type of a graveyard hate card out there, one of the things that you want to do is you want to build it. You don't want to like go full throttle graveyard because you can't go full throttle graveyard. You're just kind of in this basically this game of chicken, and then waiting for our opponent to fire off activate the spell bomb. Since we do need the second black source, we're going to go and put the Baron Moor down instead of cycling it, and then we'll go and get 3 coming over at us. And then we'll just if we get ooh, Life from the Gnome, that'll be good. Okay, so now we can start dredging off that. And Mimeoplasm. One thing we can do with the Nile Spellbomb is let's see. Yeah, so what we can do is we can kind of force the issue with Mimeoplasm, casting the Mimeoplasm. If we target, let's see, Fauna Shaman's our only really target in the graveyard. If we cast Mimeoplasm, we'll at least have this creature to have it become a copy of, and then they may have to activate it in response. But right now, I'm way okay with getting Life from the Loam up and running, because then we can start dredging a bunch of stuff. And then we'll go and pop the Sensei's Top here at the end of our opponent's turn. Oh, dang it, sorry, double-clicked F2 on that one. Let's go and dredge right now. Okay, Invisible Stalker, that's pretty good. Let's go and let's get down the Sunken Ruins of the Opulent Palace. We're going to choose green on that one. So that's going to go to our hand. They can counter it if they want to, but I mean, it's just going into the graveyard, and then we still have Ancient Tomb to make for the land drop, so it's not the end of the world. Alright, so get that one. Let's go and put the Opulent Palace down. Then we can go for a little Ancient Tomb next turn. And once again, we're still going to just dredge ourselves. Hopefully we're getting to the spot to where our opponent's going to feel the need to go and fire the fire the Nile Spellbomb off, or we can just kind of, once we get at least one good reanimator target, and then we can fire it off with Mimeoplasm. And if we're dredging life from the loam, it's not really going to, well, we could spin the top and then draw a card. But yeah, I was about to say, we don't have to worry about spinning the top, but we can at least still spin the top, put it on top, and draw a card that we need out of the top three, kind of get that going. Alright, and we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our opponent's going to have just enough for Thrax to get it down. But at least, okay, Thrax is coming in. And if we want to, we can still use Living Death in a way to we can use Living Death as a way to kind of control our opponent's board, make them get rid of Thrax over there. So one counter goes on Thrax. And then we'll go and spin the top, see what we got. Click for one color, there we go. Buried Alive, Misty. Yeah, I think I may go ahead and grab that Buried Alive. So let's go Putrid Imp. Let's put Putrid Imp on top, Misty on top, and put Buried Alive on top. We'll go ahead and draw the Sensei's top. I mean, not the Sensei's top. We'll go and draw that Buried Alive. I'm not going to dredge right now. Okay, we draw the Buried Alive. Sensei's top goes on top. We're going to dredge instead. Get that into the graveyard. Okay, so let's see. What do we want to do? We go Mimeoplasm. So if we fire off Living Death, what's going to happen is our libraries are going to flip. Our opponent's going to activate Nile Spellbomb. They're just going to get a Twisted Abomination out there. I think I'm okay with doing that. So let's go Living Death right now. We're looking at black, black. So we're going to use Fire off Living Death. They're going to activate the Nile Spellbomb, not get to draw a card. Okay. And then they're just going to end up with a Twisted Abomination out there. Then we have Buried Alive to fire off on the next turn. And then we'll be able to set up a nice little, let's get the Ancient Tomb down. And then, yeah, we'll be able to set up a nice little random target for Mimeoplasm out there. So let's kind of re-rack. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with the land drop. So we can fire off a Buried Ruin and get down Mimeoplasm and try and kind of re-rack after that. Our opponent's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then let's get Thrax back up. So they're looking at 9 to get down Thrax. So Thrax is going to be coming in next turn. So whenever it attacks, we're going to have to sacrifice a creature. So we're also going to have to bury it alive for like a Avenger of Zendikar. And that'll give us a, let's see, Deathbringer. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1 counter. Deals 1 damage to target creature player. Okay. Yeah, so it's almost like maybe we're going to go for this buried alive. May go for a Avenger of Zendikar. That way it'll give us a nice little, a bunch of little creature spread over there. Okay. Lightning Greaves. Let's see. Now what we can do, alright, so we're at 8 commander damage. Our opponent goes for Thrax next turn. We can try and go for a... Well, actually, I think, hold on. Let's get the Sunken Ruins down. Let's go ahead and fire off. Let's fire the Buried Alive. Tap for black. And let's see what we want to grab off that. Because we do have Spirit of the Night, which is going to have haste. But we're not going to be able to get enough commander damage on it right now. If we go Avenger of Zendikar, we don't have a land drop to make for the turn. And then if we get down Avenger of Zendikar right now, they're going to be able to blast us into next Tuesday. We'll get the, but yeah, we need a land drop to make on top of it. So let's do this. Let's go. Because even if we get hexproof, we're going to have to sacrifice a creature. Because Spirit of the Night is going to be 6 plus 12. That's going to be 18 commander damage over there. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. Let's go ahead and go Avenger of Zendikar. Let's get that into the one of our options. And let's see what else. Let's go ahead and go. And we'll go and grab that Spirit of the Night. We want to grab Spirit of the Night for sure. And we'll go and grab Phyrexian Dreadnought as our backup. Okay, so those are going to go into the graveyard. What we can do right now is let's go and get down Lightning Greaves because our opponent's not going to be able to win. We're looking at 6, 11, 14. Yeah, we're going to have enough over there to get the Lightning Greaves down. And then we don't have anything in the graveyard as far as Life from the Loam goes. So we can dredge it next turn. No legal targets. Okay. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, this is what we're kind of setting up right now. Sorry, I had to take a second to kind of think about that. What we're looking to do is we're looking to cast Mimeoplasm. Our opponent's going to be able to get down Thrax if they want to, spend their mana. We get down Mimeoplasm, targeting Avenger of Zendikar, and then we're going to get all of those plant tokens out there, and if hopefully if we hit a land off Life from the Loam, then we'll be able to we'll at least have Bazaar Bag. Yeah, we do have Bazaar Baghdad in our hand, but if we hit like a fetch land, then we'll be able to put those extra +1 counters on the all the plant tokens that we're going to get. And this looks like Thrax is coming down. Okay, so Thrax is coming in. So we're looking at a total of, should be 11, 14 coming across. Sacrifice a non-existent creature. Puts us down to 7. That's 14 total commander damage. Alright, so now we're in Mimeoplasm territory. Okay, so let's go ahead and dredge Life from the Loam right now. Alright, Damnation, Lot Troll. Okay. Yeah, let's go and go for Mimeoplasm. We're going to cast Mimeoplasm. We're looking at, let's tap 4. Let's add black, blue. Let's add green. And let's cast Mimeoplasm. Looking at 1, 2. And we're going to choose Avengers Zendikar to be a copy. And then let's go ahead and go Phyrexian Dreadnought on counters. 17, 17. We're going to get a bunch of plant tokens now. And then let's go ahead and put down the Bazaar Baghdad. Put a +1 counter on each of those. Yes, we're going to use that ability. We'd love to use that ability. Okay, and then let's go and stick the Lightning Greaves on Avenger of Zendikar. And then let's go ahead and swing in for 17, because that puts in our spot to we're going to have 17 total commander damage, and then we can chump block with all of our plant tokens, and then, we're going to have the sacrifice trigger from our opponent. We'll sacrifice one of the plant tokens, and then we chump block. There'll be another one, and we're still going to... Yeah, we've got 7 creatures, so we should be in a good spot. Now, if they have something like Anger of the Gods or something, you kind of get rid of the plant tokens, and they're going to win the game. But even then, yeah, it's only going to be 20 total commander damage. But let's see. Zombie Master. Oh! Nice! Zombies have Swamp Walk, and we do have a swamp out there. What a timely play. Oh, man, beautiful. All right, yeah, we're going to have to sacrifice the plant token over there. Yeah. That's a nice little, that's a nice little rip right there. Beautiful. I'm going to have to post this one up because that was some nice little graveyard action over there. They're so close to closing that one out. A Swamp Walk right off I don't know if it came off the top, but that was a nice little play. Yeah, I can't do anything on that one. Nice, dude. That was nice, yeah. So this was that was a nice little tight little match of Commander right there. Yeah, I'm going to have to post this one up. So, alright guys, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.